All right, today we're going to look at a project I've been working on with Claude Code, where I created a LibSQL database that's a SQLite clone or fork that has vector search that enables a form of semantic search to happen. So roughly, this has been going on with me for a couple of days. I started out with this idea. I wanted a Python fast API server. That's what's going to run libsql and provide a contact point for Emacs to communicate with, and then an eLisp server that uses the API to index files, search files, etc. I developed this design document from Emacs RAG codex, where I was experimenting with codecs and ChromaDB, but I ran into some limitations with ChromaDB and I wanted to try libsql. So out of that project, which worked pretty well, it just didn't work across all of my machines. It generated this file, and then I used this all of this information I passed to Claude Code and had it generate the software package. Okay, and so that made this Emacs RAG server, which is the Python code, and the Emacs RAG directory, which is the eLisp version, and generated this really nice overview that tells you what it is, some features, and it's probably easier if I just show you. There's a transient that I had it make, and I can do something like vector search here. And if I say fungus, then it will find a file here that is about mushrooms and other things that are chunked out here. And what I wanted to work on today is I had created this jump to org heading, and this very literally does what I previously had in orgdb. And I thought maybe I should not have the IV, keyword pattern matching, but actually have a semantic jump to headlines. And so I want to work out how do I get there from what I have here, and we'll use Claude Code for that. So how do I use Claude Code? First, I'm in the directory. You can see where we are. I just fire up Claude. And this is linked to, I think, a Claude Pro account. You can also link it to an API account. And what I want to do here is, let's go back to Emacs and see heading. So we have Emacs org jump to heading right here. I'm just going to copy this name so I can be pretty specific with Claude. I want to replace with a new function that does semantic search by vector similarity. Develop a plan for that where the heading vectors are stored when the files are indexed. And the query is done by vector similarity. So this is already kind of complicated. The history of how I got to here is gone in the past, but when I added this, I had it create a new table in the SQLite or libsql database that stored the heading and the line number in the file. And now I'm going to ask it to perform or calculate the vectors and then store those, and then it's going to have to update the server, and it will have to update the Emacs Lisp file, and now it's going through and searching through to find all of the things that need to be done. All right, so let's just review what it says. Okay, so here's our plan. Our current state retrieves all org headings. They're stored in the org headings table. No vector embeddings currently. So here's our proposed solution. We'll add vector storage. That sounds reasonable. It looks like there's an alternative. Then we're going to modify the add org headings to generate embeddings, optionally including tags. Store the embedding, use the same embedding model. Then we need a new query function. It gives us a new API endpoint, a new eLisp function, replace or supplement. Here's our implementation steps: update the scheme, update the API, update the client, look at some migration logic. Maybe we'll even be able to migrate this. That would be nice. Key design, okay. That all sounds pretty reasonable. Let's just say implement the plan. Now it's worth noting I have the project under Git control, so if anything goes terribly wrong in this, I'll just undo it and try again. I haven't had a lot of experiences like that so far. Since I just opened this is going to ask me if I want to make the edits. Let's see, here we are creating a table. That sounds okay. Okay, then we're going to see what is this doing. Removing some things, adding some things, inserting headings. I don't see anything that looks off there, so I'm just going to say yes. This is what a lot of vibe coding feels like. You wait while some little thing goes. If you get extra confident, then you can press Shift Tab, and I'll just press Shift Tab. And then it will make all of the changes sequentially, unless it runs into something like a command it doesn't have approval to use or something like that. All right, we're still updating the API endpoint. This is all the Python code. And now we're looking at the eLisp function. Okay. Now it's updating the home page. That's actually pretty nice. All right. Just to give you an idea of what this home page looks like while it's running, this runs on my local host, and it gives me some information. It tells me where the database is. It gives me the endpoints that are here. and you can do some things. Let's click on statistics. It shows me, how many files there are, what a sample chunk looks like. I've only been indexing this folder that we're working in while I check. So all of that was vibe coded because I said make a front page for the database. So that was pretty sweet. All right, so now it says that it's done, and now we should give it a test. So existing databases will need to be reindexed. So all right, so let's go back here, and let me find my reload section. And this should reload all of the files. And I will go here and go back to index directory. We'll index this one. Let's see. What did we just see here? File not found. I don't know, that doesn't seem like a good file. Oh, this is that's a temporary file. We can ignore that. We should fix that. But now if I look here and go back to this, and it still doesn't seem like it did what I thought. Let's go back and make sure I didn't miss something. Emacs RAG search org headings. I type mushroom, then we get this very first one, a fungus among us, and it jumps right to it. That's pretty nice. Okay, so I need to go back to Claude and say, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so we want to jump to org heading. All right, replace the jump to org heading entry in the transient menu. I'll keep it in. It sort of duplicates a feature of OrgDB, but that's okay. All right, so we'll get that. All right, that looks like it's done. So now I'll go back here. And let's reload this. Now V, H, mushroom, and that finds a fungus among us. And then let's look for one more that I know is in here. Large-ish mammals. And that finds really big animals. So we are getting like a semantic search that it's able to find things that are close to what it means. All right, so let's just check out what happens here. I'll open up Magit, and we've got unstage changes. That's for the new one. I'm going to stage. That updates the file. We'll stage. That's the new function. And that's the update to the transient. And I should probably make that be silent, so I'll change that later. I'm going to press G. I have gptel Magit installed. That's going to create a commit for me. So this is a feature, add semantic search for org headings. And let me see if I can go here and just make this be result silent. And then delete that. And now we have a brand new feature in just about 15 minutes using Claude Code, which I think is pretty amazing all around. And this is the kind of thing I find myself doing more and more. So looking here at this menu, we have a variety of search. We can do a vector search that does search on chunks of the document. So it's like a vector search of all the text in my org files. We have text search, which is, since it's LibSQL, we have FTS5 for full text search. There's a hybrid version that there's still a little bit of a bug if you don't put, if you use improper patterns. I need to find a way to clean those up and escape them. You can semantic search across your org headings if you know you want to find something there. And then, of course, we can jump to any of the indexed files. So if I just press F, these are the files that are organized, indexed in here. We can start and stop the server, show statistics, check out the log in case something needs to be debugged. We have a couple of different indexing. You can index a buffer, a file. It's set up so that every org file automatically gets indexed when you open it and when you save it. And then if you find you need to add a file or a directory, this one goes recursively. And then we have some things to remove files, even remove the database or rebuild the database. And if you press D, it gives me a bunch of information about where things are and what's been set. So we just have like a few files and everything looks pretty good. So all of that from that original design document in, again, this is like a second iteration, so I had already spent a day or two on the ChromaDB version, and this one is working on LibSQL. Mostly because I think LibSQL I can use on my computer at home and my computers at work, and everything will sync. That normally works with OrgDB. It did not work with ChromaDB, which is why we're here today. Anyway, one day this will go on GitHub. It's still super experimental. I'm still experimenting with whether I need a separate server. I had in mind, with OrgDB to make it more performant by having the Python server. I just never could find quite a lot of time it would have taken for me to put together that fast API. But with Claude Code and some good vibes, we got there in just a couple, maybe half a day total time. Anyway, that is Emacs RAG with LibSQL. There's still a few things left I want to do. One of the reasons I wanted to make this is that now we can embed it in a tool, and I can then connect Claude and other LLMs to my notes using semantic search, so we can look up information that I might have written a year ago, 2 years ago, who knows. I have roughly 10,000 org files organized over projects, proposals, in a journal format. There's really no way to cleanly organize them, and this will allow me to find them and index them and then retrieve them without needing to have any particularly special way to organize them or even remember where they are, as long as they've been indexed into my database. All right, that's it. Thanks for paying attention, and stay tuned for future